Hey guys, welcome back. This is Chivik Inspirations. And in case you're just seeing me for the first time, hi, you're welcome to the family. And yes, according to the title, as you know by now, we will be looking at how far and how well the country Ghana has come in terms of their STEM education and currently what it is for Ghana and as well what it is for Nigeria. Before we start, I really need to address something here. I've always said this and I will always say that when it comes to education in Nigeria and Ghana, it is a different ballgame altogether because education in Nigeria is definitely, quote me any day, anytime, mostly for the rich people who can afford what it takes to get quality education. When I mean quality education, in terms of quality education, in terms of STEM education, in terms of their government school, the secondary school, senior high school, universities, and what have you. For Nigeria, it is a different thing altogether. Because why do I say this? I say this because the leaders of Nigeria, the current leaders in particular of Nigeria, do not really seek the well-being, the welfare, and the success of their citizens. Talk more of education. And in one of the recent video I posted, you will hear when the former minister, His Excellency Rotimi Amechi, so he made mention of the fact that most of the politicians that Nigerian citizens elect, most of them do not even have certificates. And they can come out to debunk it or prove the fact that yes, most of them are graduates. So tell me, people who do not really have value for education, how can they even look into education when it comes to the citizens' educational value and what educational system is supposed to be in a country like Nigeria? Now, without any waste of time, we're going to take a look at what the STEM education system in Nigeria currently is and what the STEM system education in Ghana currently is, and we'll be right back. And in case you're wondering what is STEM system education, it means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education, all in one group, grouped for a proper practical learning for every student, so that at the end of the day, it is not all about the theoretical aspect, but the practical aspect, just like we have in the Western world, where the British schools and the Western schools do more of the practical, and which is one of the reasons why most Westerners, most white people, Europeans today, do more of innovation, invention, and what have you. And currently, Nigeria and Ghana, practically, they are trying to see how they can imbibe and introduce this in the system. But for Nigeria, what is it all about? Let's take a look at that of Nigeria, and we'll be right back.
Making contact, right? So now take a look at your LED lamp and try and let the popsicle sticks make contact with each other. See, this closes the circuit, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because the wires and the foil paper are conducting the electricity current from the negative and the positive terminals of our cell. Now, our experiment for today shows us how to close the cell using water and salt. So now, we're going to hold the popsicle stick inside the water, and you're going to slowly add salt to the water. So add salt to the water. Just turn the salt in. Wait a minute. So now water is a conductor of electricity, right?
Yes.
But the popsicle sticks are still not making contact in the water. So now slowly add some salt to the water and watch the LED lamp turn it in. Wait, observe the LED lamp. Can you see? It's lighting up. Now add more salt. You notice that the currents, the LED lamp becomes brighter the more salt you add to the water.
So you have two popsicles.
So you have two like that. So where is the second one?
And in order to keep track with the ever-changing technological trends, these children are exposed to the current and future opportunities in STEM. This opens their eyes to the exciting world of science and technology, while also ensuring sustainability and transfer of knowledge.
So did this sink or float?
STEM is hands-on, it's project-based, it's practical application to real life. It's moving away from cramming and regurgitating rote learning to a more creative way of teaching and learning. So I would say fast forward now 8 years, more schools are aware of it. More schools are incorporating some aspects of it into their teaching and learning, but I think we still have a long way to go. So STEM is not coding, and coding is not STEM. So oftentimes when parents and schools approach us, oh, do you do STEM? Do you do coding? Coding is the T, the technology aspect, and it's just even one small aspect of it. So how are we doing? Well, a lot better than we were 8 years ago when we started. A lot of schools are still using it as an optional after-school program. We believe that it should be available to all children. So our dream is really for every school to have STEM as a subject scheduled in a timetable for the children, because all children should have access to developing those skills that the STEM education offers.
Chukwuyalu Delzo is an 8-year-old who aims to become a mechanical engineer. He believes that these classes are beneficial to his future ambition.
In STEM maths, I've learned a lot of things like science adventure with Kelvin, make game designing with Roblox Studios, and Minecraft with internet and electricity. And all this is going to help me become an engineer that I want to be.
The STEM approach is an effective method which helps in bridging the gap between theory and controlled practice for kids. It fosters their creative and divergent thinking and motivates young children to generate new technologies and ideas.
Our objective is to train them on how to think, not what to think. So developing creative thinking, problem solving. Our education system unfortunately hasn't changed in the last 3 decades or so. It's not matching, what is going on globally and educationally. So for us, it was important to find programs that is not just another cramming, but really hands-on application. So the idea is to explore areas of creativity, which could involve science experiments, could involve sound, could involve design thinking, all around unleashing that creative mindset. If you're able to think and problem solve, you're able to, create, you're able to apply whatever concepts. So you don't have to know the subject. You can approach something and say, because you have a systematic way of thinking. So we want to raise thinkers, we want to raise people who will create businesses, who will come up with ideas that will improve the economic development of our country. And they also have those skills that they'll be able to get high-level, meaningful jobs. The unemployment rate in our country is huge. We have a lot of graduates, but not all of them have relevant skills. So for us, developing those skills from foundational years when they're young, just as they're learning their ABCs 1, 2, 3, they're learning creative thinking concepts.
This is a simple circuit, and it uses chemicals. It uses chemicals to power the LED lights. When the switch is not on, the circuit is not complete, so the light doesn't come on. But when it's on, the light comes on. The different parts of this simple circuit is a battery holder, 2 AA batteries, LED lights, wires, and a switch.
STEM education focuses on logical thought processes and problem solving, allowing students to succeed in any field. Building a strong STEM foundation now will set students up for success in future by challenging them to think critically and come up with their own solutions.
12-year-old Farida Bakare shows off a prototype for a solar-powered car made from cardboard, which she developed with her classmates at Knox Secondary School in Nigeria. She is one of the 82 pupils in a school that targets students from poor families and gives them a chance to excel at science, maths, and engineering for a fee of only 25 cents a day.
Sure, I didn't know how to use the laptop, the monitors, and all this. So now in the Knox 100 Naira discount, I've made solar car, I've made solar itself, and I've used solar to charge a phone.
Students are provided with uniforms, books, and lunch with the fee, and girls are given sanitary pads once a month as well. Irene Bangwell is the founder of the school.
When we decided to run the Knox school, we had to ask ourselves, what kind of education does the poor man's child need to break out of poverty? That's what we set out to do. We didn't set out to open a classroom and say, oh, there's another new school for poor children. No. We said, how can we fuse into learning for the poor enough value that they can break out of poverty?
At least 10.5 million children in Nigeria do not attend school, the United Nations said in January. That's the highest rate in the world. The most affected are girls, children with disability, and those from poor households. NOSC School runs largely on donations. School officials visit each family to establish if they have capacity to pay full fees, which would be about $159 a term. Bakare, who lives with her mother and 4 siblings in a poor neighborhood in Abuja, heads to the markets to help her mother after school every day.
I want to become an electrical engineer who works with robots, solar panels, and all the connection of all the snap circuits, all things like that.
Now, having watched this, you will really see that it is definitely a different thing for a poor man's child to attain such level of quality education as a child or a student in Nigeria. Because what is supposed to be a thing is for the leaders to see that every average child from a poor background who is not privileged financially by their parents to participate in STEM education or private school education or the British standard education in a nutshell is given that privilege. But for Nigeria, we see that it is only those who have the money, those people who have the money that their children can afford going to, schools of quality standard like STEM schools in Nigeria. And for the poor man's child, an average man's child, it is next to none. You see how they struggle. You see how we struggle to at least get the basics when it comes to education. So for Nigeria, in a nutshell, STEM education, just like you've rightly heard in the video clip, Nigeria still has a long way to go. And I don't know why Nigerians still see it as a thing to argue and debate about this, instead of looking for ways to improve and improvise on how a poor man's child can, at the end of the day, get quality education in terms of STEM education or what have you. So this is why I will always make it a point of duty to expose these things, so that even if the citizens of Nigeria do not want to see it as a thing, the leaders as well will see it, even if at the end of the day, they will not definitely want to act on it or take it as a responsibility upon themselves. So guys, I think we have seen for ourselves, and we can say of a truth that this is what it is for Nigeria. Now let's head on to what it is for the country Ghana, and we'll be right back.
My alma mater, which is University Junior High School, even though it was a big school, we're not having such kind of facilities or equipment, but being in this school, it makes everything easier. For my school, if you're able to search for anything that is virtual, or like anything that is visual, meaning the ICT, the teacher has to use the phone, go around with it, but here, just can sit at the back and just view everything that is being shown from there. I'm very excited. Just excited to be in such a school. It's mind-blowing.
I'm lost of it. It's very amazing, because whenever a teacher stands in front of you to teach, you understand it. Even though the teacher wants to research something or do something, he just stand here and he will just be present.
And the internet is working.
Yes, everything is
no stress,
nothing. We will the teacher teaches us so that we'll be able to understand everything.
Wow.
In fact, the school is amazing. We are all happy being here, and we thank the Honorable Minister for building such a school for us. We always want to come to the lab to learn, because it's very great when we are learning here, because we find everything easy because of the avocado board.
Wow.
And the man behind these STEM schools and the STEM education in the country is this man called Dr. Yawosei Eluchum, who is the current Ghana's education minister.
Tony Blair just wrote a piece talking about the fact that the British education system is not fit for the 21st century. But before Tony Blair wrote this piece, we've been talking about the 21st century education. We've been talking about the fourth industrial revolution and why we need to tweak, change, transform our high school curriculum to ensure that we can meet the goals of the 21st century. So if you look at what we are doing now, if you look at the STEM schools that are coming up, this addition to the free senior high school intervention, now we are creating a better opportunity for young men and women to go to high school and get quality education that they could not get in 2017, ensuring that new senior high schools.
So this video you're watching, this is where?
This is Abomosu.
So this is what?
Abomosu. This is a senior high school.
Community senior high school?
No, this is a full boarding senior high school, which is going to serve students from across the country. And this is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo free secondary education. This is one of the best in the world.
It looks interesting.
I never saw any high school like this in America.
We have made countless videos explaining the term STEM education, but in case you have not come across some of these videos, then the term STEM education stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Education. This combination was introduced in 2001 by scientific administrators at the U.S. National Science Foundation. However, they previously used the acronym SMET when referring to the career field, but later on, it was rearranged by American biologist called Miss Judith Ramaley, who was also the Assistant Director of Education and Human Resources at the U.S. National Science Foundation to form the STEM acronym. So up to now, the STEM-focused curriculum has been extended to many countries beyond the United States, and now Ghana is doing it, and they are doing it better than many countries across the globe. STEM education is becoming very important curriculum in Ghana's education because this type of education creates critical thinkers. It also increases science literacy, and again, it creates the next generation of innovators that will lead this new world to help sustain Ghana and Africans' economy. Merging science, technology, engineering, and mathematics also helps to solve the challenges our world is facing today. And Ghana is leading in so many ways. So in this video, Honorable Dr. Yaosei Educhum, who is Ghana's Education Minister, is here to give us the list of some STEM schools Ghana has built so far and why he is taking the STEM education to the next level.
Tony Blair just wrote a piece talking about the fact that the British education system is not fit for the 21st century. But before Tony Blair wrote this piece, we've been talking about the 21st century education. We've been talking about the fourth industrial revolution and why we need to tweak, change, transform our high school curriculum to ensure that we can meet the goals of the 21st century. So if you look at what we are doing now, if you look at the STEM schools that are coming up, this is addition to the free senior high school intervention. Now we are creating a better opportunity for young men and women to go to high school and get quality education that they could not get in 2017.
High school, so explain that to us.
Explaining means we have STEM high schools under construction in this country.
What is that, STEM high schools?
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You see, the 21st century is no longer the issue of just going to school. What you study whilst you are in school is so critical. You know, we have always trumpeted in this country the idea of getting 60% of our students to do STEM or science-related courses at the university and 40% doing humanities. But if you look at the data, I think we were probably kidding around because how do you get 60% to do science or STEM-related courses at the university when at the high school only 12.5% are doing science? And especially in a country where if you do not do science...
So these STEM schools you are building, are you attaching it to Wesley Girls Presex or Kopoko? What is it? Are there more schools you're adding?
You see, new schools have been built. But one of the things that we also have to understand that in this country, after 50 years, a school may not be performing better. We have only 54 high-performing schools in Ghana.
Secondary schools.
Secondary schools. Now with the TVET added, it's about 1,000 plus senior high schools.
Okay, what's this? Can you walk us through this?
Yes, this is Bosomtri Girls.
It's a senior
STEM,
high?
Yeah,
it's a STEM school?
A STEM high school.
It's for girls only?
Girls only, the first of its kind probably in Africa. School built from scratch just for girls to focus on STEM.
So is this a boarding school?
Yes, a boarding school. They are focused on engineering, biomedical sciences, computer engineering, computer science, and it has it's open this year. And this is one of the Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo.
And this is a Bosomtri.
This is Bosomtri. Happens to be my constituency.
Yeah.
And this is a smaller version.
What are they excited about in this photograph?
You see, and they are getting the attention of the world. Different people are coming from all over the world to visit them. So this was a delegation from Belgium that went and gave them robotic kits and did a workshop for them. And this is what was going on at the time. They were super excited.
Oh, I see.
This is their library. This is the new normal in Ghana, that no school opens without a library being built for it. So we don't want to open schools so you don't have library. You call it a high school. So libraries have been built for all the new schools.
So this video you're watching, this is where?
This is Abomosu.
So this is what?
Abomosu. This is a senior high school.
Community senior high school?
No, this is a full boarding senior high school, which is going to serve students from across the country. And this is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo free secondary education. This is one of the best in the world.
It looks interesting.
I never saw any high school like this in America. This school is better than high school.
And it's new, Abomosu Secondary School. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Abomosu Secondary School. Who's this?
STEM High School. That happens to be, I think, Municipal Director of Education. And these are the classrooms. These schools are better built and configured and well structured than most senior high schools around the world.
You see, most of the times when we talk or when we come out online as citizens of Nigeria to talk about the ills of our leaders, their misappropriation, their mismanagement, their confusion, and everything in between that these leaders are doing currently in the country, most Nigerians tend to see that we are trying to expose Nigeria for the world to see, based on the fact that they are trying to hide the truth. I don't know why a normal human being in their right senses will see white and want to call it black, will see black and want to call it white. And that is the problem with us Nigerian citizens. If our leaders per se, we know that when it comes to education, most of them do not really have what it takes in terms of qualification to stand and represent themselves, talk more of the citizens or the country as a nation. Then what are we talking about when it comes to education? How do we expect these same people, these said leaders, to give out the best when it comes to quality education? Like I said, when the former minister exposed these things, it sounded as though he was joking, or most of us will see that it is a joke. Now take a look at this clip direct from the horse's mouth, the leaders themselves.
In live with TVC News next, the federal government has promised to flush out fake certificate holders in both public and private institutions in the country. Minister of Education Tahir Mamen, while receiving the report of the Inter-Ministerial Investigative Committee on Degree Certificate Milling in Abuja, said the ministry would work with relevant agencies to sanitize the education sector and rid it of any fake tendencies.
Following an investigative report by Daily Nigerian newspaper on the activities of degree mills in Benin Republic and Togo, the federal government in January set up an interministerial committee to examine the veracity of allegations of degrees rectoring with both foreign and local and private universities. The panel was mandated to review the role of any ministry, departments, agencies, or other officials in the facilitation of the recognitions and procurement of the PEC certificate in question. 3 months after, the committee is here to submit its report. Presenting the report, Chairman of Interministerial Committee highlights the horrible standards of education in the schools in question. The minister expressed sadness over what has been uncovered during the investigation and promised to sanitize the system.
When we have this report, it's a product of a thorough investigation. This team is determined to get things right in the ministry. Already, as you know, as a matter of policy, we are taking reforms of the ministry to the foundation level.
They also teach in substandard situations. We have visited them and we have seen them. In fact, we had so many pictures, but we did not want to bore people with the graphic pictures of what they sometimes call library, what they sometimes call laboratory, and so on.
Yusuf Isa, TBC News, Abuja.
From the Minister of Education, because since this set of leaders entered into power, Civic Inspiration, I have not seen anything that they are doing. I have not seen. It is more or less talk, no action. Compared to what the Minister of Education out there in Ghana and other West African countries are doing. At least let's start with West Africa. Can it be compared? Now, do you really see for yourself what I'm talking about? Look at how the minister was even talking and hiding his face, bending his face down. Like these people go into position with fake results, fake certificates. Most of them do not even go through school. All in the name of they want to get into power there and grab the bag, grab the resources, grab the money, squander the resources, ruin the country's resources, and render the country worthless and useless. And the citizens will be out there gallivanting and comparing themselves with other West African countries, instead of knowing what is the right thing for them to do by holding their leaders accountable. Look at the people we call our leaders. Somebody will come and say Nigeria is big, Nigeria is large, it's difficult to manage Nigeria. Ghana is a small country. Ghana is a small country by population, by number. Nigeria is a big country by number. When it comes to intelligence, when it comes to focus, vision between Nigeria and Ghana, can it be compared? Let's tell ourselves the truth. The earlier we start accepting the truth, the better for us. And I will always stand out for the truth. I don't care what anybody wants to say or do, because at the end of the day, it is only the truth that will prevail. Now, having watched it, you can see clearly that these two countries side by side, regardless of what it is today in the 21st century, It's thinking on the grounds and on the positive angle of how every child from a poor family background can have the same quality education, not just an average one, but competing side by side with the British, with the Western world outrightly. Now look at what the STEM school standard for Ghana is, and look at what it is for Nigeria. Can it actually be compared? Let's tell ourselves the truth. And that is where we can draw the line and say, yes, indeed, Nigeria has a long way to go. I personally want to take it upon myself that most times, what I did not achieve as a child growing up because of my family background should not also be what my children will go through. And even if peradventure I have the money, the resources to sponsor my kids through schools of the foreign standard and British standard, what about the poor masses? What about others who cannot afford? That is the question we all at this point need to be telling ourselves. And that is why I have decided that time to time we're coming out here to expose these things, to put out these things, so that it is definitely going to serve as an eye-opener for all of us to see. And ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I give it up for Ghana, because at the end of the day, what their Minister for Education is doing and has been doing is something worth commending and worth showcasing in the West African country and Africa to the world, and also to Nigeria to look out for where they are coming short of and improve on every facet of what it takes to have quality education that will be competing with the Western and the British countries out there in the diaspora, and which is one of the aim of this video. So at this point, whatever it is at the long run, that is your observation, your thought, and your opinion, kindly leave them in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, and if you're just seeing this face for the first time, hi, I am Chivik Inspiration, and here in Chivik Inspirations, we say it as it is, not to demean, not to spite, not to demarcate the country Nigeria nor Ghana, but to promote these countries, expose what it is all about in these two countries and other West African countries, as West African countries and Africa to the world. So thank you so much if you've watched up till now. I still remain your one and only Chivik Inspirations, keeping it real. Remember to always be happy, safe out there till I come up here on this space. But for now, this is me, Chivik Inspirations, signing out. Bye guys.